How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another video for you guys. And we'll be playing, or not playing, more of doing a review of another episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Talking about episode 3. And yeah, this is where things kind of start getting real. Where last video we talked about how Obi-Wan and Leia were able to escape the clutches of the Inquisitors at the city planet. It's now going to get way worse because, to an extent, Anakin, or Vader, is now prepping to, join the hunt. And sure enough, towards the beginning, Obi-Wan and Leia are able to reach a mining colony, and they do their best to try to surpass or traverse checkpoints from, or that is controlled by the Empire. And sure enough, they are able to get some help from a spy inside the Empire called Tala, who has been helping people who, to an extent, are on the run from the Empire, and especially those who are Force sensitive to the Empire, or at least not to the Empire, but to the Force. And to a degree, they're getting ready to head to the next location, but unfortunately, things, again, get way worse, where we see, in his glory, Lord Vader, or Darth Vader. And it just goes to show what he is willing to do in order to get Obi-Wan. And let me explain, because this is, again, it's insane. As he's going through, building to building, he's using his Force powers, dragging people around, choking them, snapping their necks, as Obi-Wan is just, in closed doors, hiding, watching all of this happen. And to an extent, it's kind of like baiting Obi-Wan. And what doesn't help, too, because, again, in a previous life, to an extent, these two worked closely together. Whereas Obi-Wan was Darth Vader, a.k.a. Anakin Skywalker's master. They both kind of learned about each other, their strengths, weaknesses, what makes each other tick. So to an extent, seeing people who are just unfortunately getting hurt was kind of like setting up a bait for Obi-Wan to come out and fight Darth Vader. And unfortunately, Kenobi takes the bait. And it was not a good choice. Because, yeah, we have this whole, near the very end of the episode, we have this whole cat and mouse situation where Kenobi is trying to get the upper hand, which, by the way, no high ground helping him this time. I just had to get that joke out of the way. But yeah, no high ground to help him this time. And there's a really good line, or at least a line of dialogue between the two of them, where you have Obi-Wan finally facing off against Vader. Obi-Wan says, what have you become? And Darth Vader says, I am what you made me. Which, to an extent, it's interesting, especially with, as part of Anakin's transformation to Darth Vader. To an extent, Kenobi kind of took a part in that, and I say that because just chopped off the rest of his limbs. So, to an extent, yeah, he took part in that, which sucks, which ultimately sucks. And it seems like too that Anakin, aka Darth Vader, I'm just gonna call him Vader from now on, at this point wants to kind of give Kenobi the same treatment. There's a point where a fire is lit like a big freaking raging flame, and using the Force, Vader grabs Kenobi, lifts him up in the air, and then drops him down and starts dragging him into the fire. To an extent, kind of almost getting this, giving Kenobi the same treatment that he had to go through when it came down to when it comes to the end of their fight in Mustafar, where Anakin was almost burned to death, like completely burned to death. So they do end up having Kenobi being rescued near the very end, where Tala and this lifter droid, I can't remember what the exact term was. It was like a construction, like a big bulky construction droid, basically saves him, and they escape. Unfortunately, though, in all of the confusion, Leia gets captured by Reva, the third sister. So, what we thought was Leia being rescued, now she has to be re-rescued again from the Inquisitors, which kind of sucks. Now, there is a interesting dialogue that, to an extent, I think I've heard that a lot of people are mad about. And I want to talk about that real quick. Because there was, if anything, it kind of ties into the end, near the end of episode 3. There's a conversation with Leia and Obi-Wan, where Leia begins to realize that Obi-Wan knew her mother. And to an extent, I think the line was something along the lines of, "Are you my father?" or "Did you know my father?" I think it was like, "Are you my father?" And Obi-Wan is like, "I wish I was." Now, there's been some speculation that with this line, it kind of sets up that at least there was some kind of behind the scenes thing, I guess you could say, within the story, that possibly Obi-Wan also had feelings, or there was a thing between Obi-Wan and Padme. Again, that to an extent was speculation amongst fans, but to an extent with a line like that, or a response from Obi-Wan, that makes, I think that made a lot of people angry, because it kind of adds on to that speculation that, oh my gosh, were Padme and Obi-Wan a thing? Who knows at this point? But it also adds to the fact that the feelings of betrayal when Anakin sees Obi-Wan behind Padme on Mustafar kind of seeming justified to an extent, with Anakin kind of feeling betrayed by, the one that he loved, and having that insane reaction. But regardless, it is an interesting thing to think about, and I was kind of intrigued that they were willing to go through with kind of bringing up that kind of I don't know if I can call it controversy, but all in all, it was a really interesting episode. Really good part with Vader, I will admit. The last bit of the episode with Vader, and showing how far he's willing to go after Kenobi was excellent, to say the least. But anyway, I think with this, I don't have anything else I need to say, though. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you guys have not watched the show so far, check out episode 1. Really good. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.